It's just setting it up.
Okay.
Give me 2 seconds. I liked my own video. It's great.
Makes
Okay.
sense.
Now let me go back to there we go. All right. And hello, divine beautiful souls. We're here for the Mystery School Book Club. Um, thank you, Jaina, for joining me. And I
Of
hope
course.
and I hope that we continue to grow in number. I'm hosting this at the physical location of R3 Miracles in Palm Harbor. It's 1017 Illinois Avenue. And so if you're in the area, please come out and join from on Thursdays from 1 to 2 p.m., where we'll be discussing books. Um, I have a book list that I'm gonna go over in the weeks, and essentially I'll also be putting it out. I like to handwrite things a lot, so I will also be putting it into the computer so that everybody knows what's going on. But to be a part of this book club, essentially all you need to do is go to r3miracles.com, and you can essentially um, give a love donation for this class, and your spot is reserved. You can access this all over the world via Zoom, because I will always have my computer and we'll be able to discuss. And there'll be, like, here and there times where I won't be at the physical location, but I will be on travels. But for the most part, I'll be here at R3 Miracles at the bar top, and come and visit me on Thursdays. All right. So, um, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Being productive.
Being productive. I love that. Um, I'm gonna mention the intention in regards to the Mystery Schools Book Club.
hmm
So, um, you know, as we are progressing as a people, consciousness, intelligence here on this planet, um, we're coming online to the ideas and modalities and ancient technologies that are within us that, you know, back in the day, we would go to mystery schools, and those are coming back online. Our Three Miracles is one of those, essentially. Um, and the premise with this particular book club is we want to be intentional about what we read, what we put in our view, what we listen to, because we can do Audible as well. And these topics are something that we all want to learn about, at least if you're in this club. From all different cultures and belief systems and all of that. I've right now I've selected some books essentially that I feel um, can help us on our journey to be able to innovate ourselves, to connect us to source, connect us to our divine beings, and connect to one another within that process. And so, um, the second piece to this is here. Oh, that's fun. So, garbage can that said solar on it. Okay, that was my son. I wanted to close the door, and I was like, no, I really don't want to close the door. I like that coming in, the nice breeze.
hmm
Anyways, um, the next piece of this is oftentimes we read or listen to books, and we don't ground it in. We just go to the next title, the next title, the next title, just like a TV show, you know? That was interesting. Um, and we're meant to be more intentional than that, to be able to ground in the holy work that we're doing, because in each moment we are gifted time and time to be able to do great things with it. So if within this mystery school book club, we can intentionally set a title, read or listen to that title, and then we can discuss it with one another, really identifying the nuggets of gold, the beauty, the wisdom in these works of art, and apply them to be good stewards on this earth, to live up to our fullest potential. That's what this book club is about. It's an empowerment group, really. And we're using, you know, our hearts in the process. Now, the last little thing that I want to share in regards to the Mystery School Book Club before I get to any of the titles is that these titles that, I've come up with, or that are proposed by another, you may have already read or listened to them. I encourage you not to skip that. I encourage you to take a second look or listen, because I don't know how many times this is something that I've noticed, especially with TV shows. I could watch the same show over and over and over and get something new out of it. Well, let's do that with books. It wasn't until someone mentioned to me, like, you know, like I read that book several times. I'm like, interesting. I've never read a book more than once. I wonder what that would do. I wonder where that would take me if I actually took the time to rediscover more. I mean, think about it. If you're sitting there and you're reading the book, or you're in your car listening to Audible, how many times do you go off and thought in those books? You may miss something because our attention span is only so long. I mean, we do our best to expand it in each now moment. But essentially, we have the ability to go deeper. And as a Scorpio, I like to encourage the depth to really, like, open ourselves up in a whole new way. And it honestly, what I've noticed, especially within song titles, if I've listened to it more than once, something moves within my soul. So we're not going to sit here and, like, re-listen or read a book 5 times over. That would be a little bit wild. But note that if you have on your journey and, read or listened to a title, you can go deeper. There is something in it for you. So, are we into knowing more about the titles and what we're going to be reading the week to come or listening to?
Absolutely.
So, I've chosen for this week The Alchemist. The Alchemist is a beautiful book by, I gotta look up his name again, Paulo. Don't know how to say his name. The Alchemist. Let me see here. Yeah, it's Paulo, 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 Coelho, Coelho, Coelho. Okay. And it is a beautiful book. as you can tell, I've already listened to it or read it, well, I listened to it, but it's a very short read, and I wanted to propose this particular read because it's about unlocking the mysteries within yourself. And for the Mystery School Book Club, I feel like that's a great title to start with. Have you read or listened to this book?
I have listened to it fairly recently, but I also know that there was a lot of times when I zoned out some during it. So it'll be good to listen to it again.
I agree. I've actually, in the last 2 months, listened to this book twice.
Mhm.
So, um, I'm noticing how much I actually like to re-listen to books. Um, and so we're going to take that journey together. Are you interested to hear what I have planned for the next few months?
Yes.
Okay. So our first title, again, is The Alchemist, and we'll be discussing it next week. Um, Next week, I will give you the title of The Four Agreements. Have you listened to that one or read it?
I actually read that one a few weeks ago, so
Cool.
it's fresh.
Um, it's fresh. That's good. It's actually my bathroom book in Jerusalem. Um, I have listened to it before, but I was in the process of, you know, like working through it again when I was living in Jerusalem. And it is a title that I'd like to um remember essentially.
Mhm.
After that, we're going to um read or listen to the Fifth Agreement. I have never listened or read this book.
Me either.
Um, and then so that will take us through the month of February. And then the following month, I felt really called to put the title. So it's interesting because um we we're in the we're in the sign, the sun sign or season of Aquarius right now. And I feel like these titles, are good for the month of Aquarius. Um, and when we get into the month of Pisces or March, we're going to begin Quantum Soul Awakens,
Hmm.
which is a title that Alasa Tiernan, um, the the owner of R3 Miracles, um, she wrote. She wrote it in tandem with another book called Quantum Interstellar, which um, we'll read later. It's not on the list yet in regards to the how I have it written out. There's still titles that I have not worked on to the schedule yet. But we're going to start, especially with Quantum Soul Awakens. We're really going through a lot of healing codes within that book. It has the Reikis a part of it, which is something that she downloaded. And so we're going to take 2 weeks with that book. Um, and so I'll give, instruction on where to read in regards to us moving forward. And then we're gonna have an off week in March, which will actually help us for our next title. Um, we're going to then go and move into Louise Hay's book, You Can Heal Your Life. And so that is also appropriate for Pisces season. So, um, there's a lot of connection on why I chose the titles when I chose them. Um, then we're gonna take 2 weeks with that. Except with that bye week, it will actually allow us to just we'll finish the entire title and discuss it at that point. I felt with Quantum Soul Awakens, we needed a part one and part two to be able to discuss because there's a lot there. Not that there isn't a lot in Louise Hay's book that we could discuss, but it just worked out that way. Then we're going to in April, we're going to begin the title. I guess we'll essentially start in the last week of February. I will release the title, Anna, Grandmother of Jesus.
You mean March?
What did I say?
You said February.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Okay.
March. Thank you, honey.
Mhm.
Really keep me on task here. So we'll begin that on the last week of March, which will set us up for discussing in the first 2 weeks of April. No, first 3 weeks of April. It's a part one, part two, part three. And again, I'll give you instructions on where to read or listen to. It's all on Audible as well, so I can give you like specific chapters to read to. Because it's a book we definitely need to take time with. It's a title that needs to be grounded in 3 parts with discussion.
Mhm.
And so one of those discussions will bring us via Zoom because the first week we will be out of town. And so I won't be at the physical location, but again, we'll always be on Zoom. So it's no biggie. Just know to click on Zoom rather than coming down here if you are normally a part of the in-person. And then the reason for choosing this title during this time is there are there's different holidays coming up, Passover and Easter. I felt it was very appropriate to connect with these titles during that time frame
Mhm.
when a lot of this energy is coming up. And then in the last week, or I guess I should say in the second to last week, I will give the title out and we'll discuss the last week of April, the size of your dreams. I'm very excited about this one. This is a very empowering title. It's a very short read or listen to. And it really helped put things in perspective for me. So, we're going to be essentially taking action on some things and also grounding in things. So as we're kind of going from the energy of Aries into the energy of Taurus, it's a appropriate book for that time period. Because Aries is all about taking action and Taurus is all about the manifestation and grounding in and doing the work to plant the seeds to reap the benefits. Then after that, I felt very I felt like it was appropriate for us to um do the Druidry path during this time of Taurus. Because why not? And that really helps connect us to a specific culture, right? The Druids. And it's a unique path. It's discussed very lightly in connection with Anna, Grandmother of Jesus. And it's a really short read, but it's a really good one. It also helps us to learn ritual, um, intention work, how to be with ourselves, um, and really make the most of it. Um, Druidry is something that can be lived out with others, but it's very much so how can you work on yourself. So we're gonna be connecting with that title. Then I have a week where I haven't chosen a title for that particular week. It's gonna be a short read. It needs to be like a one. Um, so there's a gap there that we'll figure out. And then after that, we'll have 3 weeks of the title, The Cash Machine, which I'm excited about as well. And The Cash Machine is a really awesome book because, and I feel like especially in the time of Taurus, it's like perfect to be able to tap into limited beliefs around money. And this particular title is awesome because it's taught through a story. It's not information at you on how you should do things. It's an actual story on building a cash machine, and you get to see what happens. And you can take from that what you will, the lessons within the book, which is really fun. It very much so feels similar, both the size of your dreams and the cash machine feels kind of a kind of similar to The Alchemist in some ways, which is kind of fun. Um, Different time period and things like that, of course, but it has those lessons within the book. And then that's all I've gotten so far, and that takes us all the way through May. And I'll be adding more titles. I have several more titles that I'd like to work with. God bless you.
Thank you.
I'm really
Thank
tuning
you.
in to what's appropriate. And so, honey, do you have some titles that you are interested in going over?
Oh shoot. I feel like I had a few, and now that you're putting me on the spot, I'm not sure.
Oh, thank you. See, I was gonna ask you as well.
What did she say?
Celestine Prophecy, which
Oh yeah, yeah, we had talked
you
about
mentioned
that
was the
too.
10th insight, right?
Oh, yeah, our ninth insight,
Ninth.
and then
Oh, okay. Celestine Prophecy.
Maybe I should go look at our bookshelves
Yeah.
at things that I have or we have, but I haven't read yet.
Okay.
Because I know we've got some good ones.
Your book is on here as well, by the way. One of them.
right,
It's actually during,
Quantum Soul Opens.
yeah,
Okay.
I did that one first.
It's a
And
good one to do.
we're doing that during Pisces, so it's kind of funny. Felt like it was appropriate. That, and then right after that, You Can Heal Your Life with Louise Hay.
Oh, fun.
Um, and then any other titles? Any short reads? So on my list that we haven't mentioned, um, I want to do Becoming Supernatural.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's
Good one.
The sorry, there's Your Zodiac Soul, um, which I got in Glastonbury. And I have not read it yet, so I'm really excited. Then also there's a really cool book that I came across that I listened to called The Daedalus Protocol. So it brings a lot of different mythologies together in a story. So it gives us a little more. Then And we've already mentioned we're doing this week The Alchemist, next week The Fourth Agreement, the following week The Fifth Agreement, or and then of course Quantum Soul Awakens, part 1 and 2. We'll have to break it up into 2 weeks. And would you be interested in joining us for those weeks that we're discussing? Brilliant. So we have the author with us for the
Woo!
weeks of Quantum Soul Awakens.
Have 1 and 2, because the first part is about living in the new earth. The second one is the Great Kings. Second part of that book, like the Great Kings.
Funny, I haven't finished it yet, so I didn't realize there was a part 1 and part 2.
Yeah.
So that's great. And then after You Can Heal Your Life, we're doing Anna, Grandmother of Jesus. We're doing a part 1, a part 2, and a part 3. And then after that, we're doing a title called Size of Your Dreams. It's a very short title, but it's very empowering,
Yeah.
especially in the month of Aries. Like, go and do the work and then plant the seeds. Because we'll be on the cusp of Aries and Taurus. And then the Druidry Path after that. And then a title called The Cash Machine. And that's in Taurus season. So, and I'm sure it'll probably interweave with your class. Oh, what is
So
this?
this is Daring Greatly by Brene Brown.
Daring?
Any of her titles I think would be great. She is a shame researcher, and so she's done a lot of research about being vulnerable and around shame and how that has shaped us in a lot of our lives and how to overcome that in a lot of ways by practicing gratitude, and it's just, she's amazing. And I think it could be a good one for that.
Okay.
It's the tagline is how the courage to be vulnerable transforms the way we live, love, parent, and lead.
Okay.
So
I have a feeling that that may come up close to Virgo.
yeah.
Any other titles?
Not coming to mind. I know we've talked about certain ones and they're not coming to me right now.
Okay. So anyone who is watching or listening, if you have a title and you're interested in joining this book club, please feel free to put in the chat some, like any of the titles that you feel like would be good. Let me see here. Sorry, I just went into I want to check the chat and I couldn't get back to the actual original.
I don't know. We might want to look into Atomic Habits by James Clear.
Okay. I'll put it on the list and I'll tune in. By who?
James Clear.
Oftentimes what I do is I sample the book. Even if I don't read or listen to the entirety of the title, I'll maybe even listen to it like the first few, like maybe even an hour or two to feel if it's in resonance.
Mhm.
And if, essentially being able to connect with its essence.
Right.
And then it gives me more of because I don't want to just pick random titles.
Oh, right.
And no, and this is just me explaining my process. And then it gives me kind of a direction. Does it fall in a specific zodiac energy that I know would maybe help us out in those times, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
Because we have a natural rhythm, of a seasonal rhythm that we go through. And when we can choose empowering titles to help us stay firm and stay on the course,
Mhm.
then that's only going to empower us.
Right.
Yeah. So is there anything else that you can think of?
Um, I don't, you can tune on this one. I was just thinking about Scorpio and Sacred Space season.
Mhm.
Um, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo.
Ooh. Okay. Wait, so I could do t- two of either two things because sacred space is connected. No, I would hmm. There's different ways I can present that one. So I
Mm-hmm.
could either do it Scorpio season, or I could do it Cancer season.
That's
Is it a
true.
quick read?
I think it is a small one. I'm not sure. I do think it's a smaller book.
Let me take a look at this. Wait, can you read the title again?
The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up.
Magic of tidying up. Tidy. How do you spell that? Tidying.
Tidying.
I don't know why I did not interpret it like that. Marie with a K, Kondo.
Yeah, it's 224 pages.
Okay, we're gonna take a look at an Audible. The way I kind of gauge things on Audible, I type it into there and I try to give for each week around 4 hours,
Mm-hmm.
so that it's digestible.
Right.
Um, Marie Kondo, Kondo. Book. Oh, book one. Is there more than one book?
Apparently so. I just saw that. Looks like there's three. I
Oh,
didn't know that.
that's interesting. So it's a 5 hour read. Interesting. I'm tuning in May. Um, you know what? We're actually going to do that one in May during when the Earth is in Scorpio.
I thought you might bring it in there too.
Yeah, so the life. So I've actually watched the TV show, and I can
Well,
already tell you, um, like I feel connected with this title. And here's the thing is tidying up feng shui, we just had a whole soul school. If those of you are not familiar with soul school, we do soul school every Friday here at R3 Miracles, and it is accessible via YouTube, on R3 Miracles YouTube channel. And it's also accessible, I'm sure, through Zoom. Um, I've popped on before when I can't make it in person. And it's life-changing. Last week we had one about feng shui and um it, essentially working in the home or on the land. And the energy that we can shift by tidying up our space is unbelievable. What you can literally watch your entire world change by just focusing your energy on, especially places like your desk. Your desk is huge because it is a space that you're creating in. Another one to pay attention to is, of course, your bedroom. Really everything, but your bedroom is where you sleep. It's where you're receiving codes from source energy. The more you can keep it clean in that area allows you to have a fuller experience in dream time, and a clearer one, a more pure, as well as your car. Your car is really important because it's a vehicle of you. And so I could do better in that realm. I'm not gonna lie.
Me too.
And noticing like if you're carrying a lot of items, like for instance, for the sake of storage, almost pulling a Hermione Granger in regards to not feeling that baggage on you. Like there's different ways we can like intentionally work with things so that we're not feeling all that physical weight on us and pressure. And then another one is the kitchen. The kitchen is really important. It's a place where you're putting vitality into your physical body, and you're creating in that space when you're cooking. And when your space is not clean, you're inviting things in that's not so nice. So when you clean that area, you're inviting purity and vitality into your vessel. So I love how I just kind of pretty much started on discussion for that book, but I feel like it's really important. Like these are the type of conversations that I want to have in this mystery school book club. Like, and we all have a divine perspective on all of these type of, subjects. And, like we're going to be looking at different cultures and different belief systems and different types of magic and connection to source, essentially. So yeah. Any thoughts?
Not particularly.
What is something that maybe you're wanting to receive out of this book club?
For me, like I love learning, period. And I think, no, like I'm growing so much on a personal and soul level right now, like just continuing that. And you know, in certain ways, helping me put practices into place that, like I know I need to, that I've just struggled to do. So, reading and really grounding it in with others will help along that journey.
I love that. Mm.
What about you?
I seek, like being able to have fuller conversations with people.
Hmm.
I feel like, you know, for instance, at one point in time in college, you know, you'd be reading different titles and being able to discuss it. I almost feel the like school in general, right? Like I feel like in our generation, we've had less concentration on this. It's more transactional, it feels, rather than the Sophia energy. And what I mean by that is wisdom,
Mm-hmm.
like that lover of wisdom. And I feel like in this day and age, we're not, we have so much information coming at us from every angle. And it's more of a question, what do I pay attention to?
Right.
And what's going to help me on my journey for growth? And that really comes with wisdom codes,
Mm-hmm.
something that was discussed in the ages of, Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, the Enlightenment period, you know, the Renaissance period. I feel like we're coming into another one of those type of periods
Mm-hmm.
where as we're approaching the depths of the age of Aquarius. Okay, maybe the surface, but we're gonna be going into the depths of
Right.
Aquarius, essentially. I mean, we've been in it. It's just like we're really fully there now in the age of Aquarius. And Aquarius, if done appropriately, I'm gonna say it like that. We're there not to just receive the information like a computer.
Mm-hmm.
We're there to make great changes. It's not information for the information's sake. There's heart in it. And I feel like all this information is beautiful, but with intention. So I feel like with this book club, what I want to bring to it is intention, purpose, passion, growth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And communication, really.
Yeah.
Communicating that with the other,
Mm-hmm.
which is a divine reflection of ourselves. That was probably the longest spiel on one question. This is the way my mind works.
I know.
But yeah, so every single week we'll be doing this, except for, like here one-offs, and you'll be notified on when, like if you're immersed in the book club, you won't miss a date,
Mm-hmm.
essentially. And that immersion is gonna be fun. So again, for moving forward in regards to this coming week, get yourself a copy of The Alchemist or an Audible and give it a listen. It's a very short title, and it's a really good book. It really, really is. I'm sure we'll probably come across more of Paulo Coelho's titles, because I know he has other books. But this is the beginning of the journey, finding the alchemist within ourselves. All right. So I feel complete in regards to today.
Yep.
I love you all, divine, beautiful souls. Again, upcoming things. Well, first of all, if you're wanting to be a part of the Mystery School Book Club, go on to R3 Miracles. There are other things going on at R3 Miracles, a lot of things. And so tuning in to what feels good for you. Again, I'm teaching on Wednesday nights that are accessible through Zoom, Astrology 101. We are approaching our third week. So if it's something that you're wanting to be a part of, you can go on to r3miracles.com again and pay for a one-off class, you know, like do them individually kind of thing. And if you've missed the first 2 weeks, you can still do so. They're all on Zoom, and I have the slideshows, and we go deep in this work. But it's very important to have these specific classes to be able to fill in the gaps, so that we can move forward and the discussion is around the current topic. So if you're interested in Astrology 101, go on and sign in, sign on to the class, and it's a lot of fun. And then we also have on Tuesday nights, if you're in the area, honey, you want to speak about your class?
Sure. So right now in person, and maybe we'll figure out how to get it recorded or on Zoom soon too, but I am doing Plant Magic, Sacred Wisdom of Mother Nature, where we dive into each week will be different plants. Some weeks we might do like a specific variety, like mint. There are so many different types of mint. But right now, like my first class was on Tuesday with when it was about roses, and we're actually going to repeat that and do that again on Tuesday next Tuesday as well. But yeah, so Plant Magic, Sacred Wisdom of Mother Nature, every Tuesday, 6 to 7 p.m. at R3 Miracles in Palm Harbor. We go over the medicinal qualities, the magical properties, astrology, how to use it in ritual, all sorts of different things. So it's fun.
Beautiful. All right. Well, we love you all, divine, beautiful souls, and bye for now.